It's Baltimore's most extensive park, consisting of more than 1,000 acres. Gwynns Falls Leakin Park is the second largest woodland park in the country.
Developing tonight, city police investigating a homicide, this one in southwest Baltimore. Chopper 13 over Leakin Park, where a man was found dead this morning. His body was found in the 4900 block of North Franklintown Road. Again, this is in Leakin Park. Police say the man was unresponsive when they got there, and his body had signs of trauma.
Disturbing discovery. City police find an unidentified body in a park in southwest Baltimore.
It was tips from the community that brought police out to Daisy Park off North Hilton Street. In the dark, off a steep drop-off, officers found a body wrapped up underneath debris. Police say it doesn't appear the body was there.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video on Spanish Chinatown. Today we are doing something a little different especially for the season of Halloween. And there's no better place to do it than where we are at today. The area that we're in has kind of a sad history around it, and the history that it has continues to plague this area. If you guys aren't aware of this place, we are in a location now called Leakin Park, basically outside the city of Baltimore. Doing the amount of research I did, this is sad because originally this park was built as an estate. We are right now, we're probably, I want to say we're in the main section of the park, the entrance, we're in the main area where people usually go. Beyond us, this is the main trail right here, I believe. This is probably one of the main trails that people hike on. This is the main area that people hang out, have picnics, and just hang out with family. But unfortunately, this park, throughout the years, have been plagued with this very dark and bad events. Dating back all the way to 1946, that's when this whole thing started. So starting in 1946, bodies have been found around this park, not in this general area per se, but in the whole land of this park, bodies have been found. And the last time a body has been discovered here, to my knowledge, was back in 2022, not that long ago, unfortunately. And there's from what I've read online, there's about 70 to 80 bodies have been discovered here. But to be honest, based on the history and everything that I read, there's hundreds, I want to say. This area that we're in is considered, I think, Baltimore's largest unregistered cemetery, because there's so many bodies that have been found here, and there's probably more that have never been found deep in these woods behind me and to the areas that we're going to be visiting today. There's a lot of sadness that plagues this area, and the people who live around here are trying to do the best with it. They're trying to try to get rid of the stigma of this park that's known as the murder forest, or one of the most dangerous woods or forests in America. They're trying to break that stigma, but it's kind of hard to do at the same time when there's so much history and recurring history of events that have been documented and found here. Because it's not just murder victims here between the ages of children to elders, 60, 70-year-old people. It's not just that, there's even suicide victims, because this area that we're in, the farther we get into it, it's very secluded, so anything can happen. The farther we get into this video and into this documentary, we're going to touch more onto some of the stuff that has happened in this forest. And I'm pretty sure if you do know about this place, I'm pretty sure a lot of you have probably seen people do ghost hunts, ghost investigations here. That's not the idea of this video. This video is just to just document what this place is and the history, and mostly the dark history around it. Even though how sad and tragic the history of this place, it's still fascinating, to document a place like this. But again, we'll get more into the history and everything of those places we'll go into. We'll be hitting up 3 spots throughout the night tonight. We're going to be staying possibly late into the night, about maybe 11, 12 o'clock. So we'll see what we get into. But anyways, the sun is setting right now. I'm not here alone, if you guys are worried about that. I'm not here alone, especially in an area like this. I would never be in an area like this by myself. I do have a group joining me on today's documentary and exploration. But before the sun sets, which is basically now, there's an unmarked cemetery deep in the woods that I want to take you very quickly before we lose the sunlight. So let's go check that out. And without further ado, let's get right into today's video. Okay, so I just parked the car back there. We're going to be heading to the graveyard right now. My friends are going to meet up with me in about an hour or so. So that gives us enough time to hit up the graveyard and head back to start the actual rest of this video. I just noticed something, how quiet it's gotten. Because like, you're going to probably notice this throughout the night. The longer we are in this area, the more quiet it's going to become. Part of it again is because how secluded this park is. And this is a massive park. This is like probably the first or second largest forest in the country, I believe. You're going to notice how quiet this area gets the later we are here. Okay, one of the trails night, guys, and I just saw this hanging from the tree. I have no idea what that is. Could be witchcraft, I don't know if you believe that kind of stuff. But whatever it is, it's interesting. You see more stuff probably like that, unlike if you go in these trails. Somewhere around here is a graveyard. Now we're on like a public trail, we're not going off the trail unless we need to. Oh, that's just a deer, that scared me. Look at those eyes, that's crazy. But yeah, those are just deer. Yeah, I think we found it. Oh, we did. I think, yeah, this is it. Yeah, look at that. See that? That's a tombstone. Oh yeah, we found it, guys. It would be nicer to be here during the day, not like when it's actually like dark now, but this is the actual graveyard. Like what's left of it. This is just like a small graveyard, I think. That QR code on that gravestone literally takes you to this link, which basically tells you the year and everything of the gravestone. So this gravestone is from the 1800s. Wow. That is honestly very cool. I haven't seen a gravestone that old before. Yeah, look at that. You can actually see the writing better on camera than I can. Yeah, look at that. But yeah, there's like a small cemetery back here. And there's another one right there. And like there's this stone thing back here. Which just says Sackers. That's crazy. But I don't think there's anything else. It may just be those stones. I think those are the only stones left. But yeah, there's this little mural right here. And then there's that little thing back there. And then there's that one. I've seen a bunch of people document like Leakin Park area, but I've never seen them show off the old tombstones, and I just wanted to do that very quickly before we get into the rest of this video. But yeah, this is like, for to be a park and like to be a cemetery, and this cemetery is old. Again, this is from like the 1800s, and this is basically a forgotten cemetery, but that kind of gives you a little glimpse of what lingers here, the sadness that fills these woods. And again, the farther we get into this video, the more you're going to see like how unfortunately devastating the history of this area has become. So guys, so we are done with the cemetery now. We are back where I started. We are going to be waiting for our friends. They should be here in about the next, hopefully around 30 minutes from now. And from there, we are going to get into the more serious part of this documentary. Before we do that, I'm probably going to show you this building that's right up here, which is a very cool building. It's a historic building that basically started this whole park. So we're going to be showing that before our friends get here. But after that, it's going to get into the more serious, heavier topics that surround and kind of dampen the mood of this area. One thing I'm pointing out to myself, but I'm going to mention to you as well, do you guys realize how quiet it is? I don't know if you guys remember, but in the beginning of this video, not that long ago, about maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes ago, this park was still active. Now, if you guys hear, it's completely silent. There's no noise, nothing. And that's what it's going to be like for the rest of today, tonight, in this video. Nothing. You're not going to hear anything. You may occasionally hear a car drive by on the main road that we're going to be on. But other than that, you necessarily shouldn't hear anyone besides me and my friends of some of the gruesome stuff of this place. Not that long ago, I believe around like November or December of last year, in this general area on one of these trails back there, I believe a woman was, to my understanding from the news report that I read, an elderly woman, like in her 70s. She was like 71. She was sexually assaulted by a homeless person in this area. And this is one of the main areas. This is one of the like safer, better areas. It's not on the main road. It's not off one of the side roads or anything. But even in this area, you can experience, have horrific things happen to you, and have horrific things happen at this park. It's not just in the secluded areas. It's also like around here, unfortunately. I just wanted to mention that since we're in this area right now. I don't know if I guys mentioned this in the beginning, but this is the estate. This is the summer estate that this park is like built around. As you guys see, this house was built in '57 for $9,000. I apologize for the glare. But yeah, this was the summer home. This house, which honestly looks amazing. I love it. I love the lighting and everything. This house was the estate that this park was built around. Look at that architecture of that structure. Very nice. You can definitely see the date, how dated some of the artwork is, the architecture of this building. They definitely modernized it to some extent. Like, I'm pretty sure that did not originally have gold painted gutters coming out of it. That was added on later at some point. But the point remains is that this is original structure to this park. This was the summer home to the people who lived here. But now, since I showed you that, I'm gonna wait for my friends. I'll meet back up with you guys once they arrive, and we're gonna get into, like I've mentioned 100 times by now, we're gonna get into the more serious part of this exploration and documentary. Okay, what's up, everybody? My friends just got here, so we're gonna be heading to the first spot of the night. We'll get more into it once we get to the location, but without further ado, I'll see you guys when we get there. One case that you may have heard of, I think her name is Min Lee. She was an Asian student, I believe, at a college, and her body was found here, dumped on the road that we're going to be on, probably not far from where we're going to be. Her body was dumped on the side of the road, and I believe from reading her case, it was her ex-boyfriend that did it. Like, did the kidnapping and everything. Along with that, there was this guy in the 80s and 90s who was connected to a crime of the mutilation. I think 4 boys who their heads were found decapitated on a trail not far from where we're going to be as well. And they were also, I believe, sexually assaulted along with the mutilation. And it's just all terrible. Along with that, there's like people who've committed suicide in these woods. There's suicide victims who've been found in these woods by hikers nonetheless, but still. So like, that's just a hint of that's kind of like plagued the overall atmosphere of this park. And we're gonna get more into like the places that we're visiting as we get there, but that's just a tidbit of like just how bad the history of this place has or can be. Good, what the fuck? Okay, we just got to our first destination and there's just a car. If I can get the just crashed. This car has just been hit and it's just abandoned here. There's no one in the car. What the fuck? No, this is like I know there's like weird stuff happens here, but this is very weird. This car has just been mutilated. It's a nice car too. It's like a BMW A6 or something. So this is stolen. This is a stolen car. Because you see, that's a jack. This car has been stolen. There's fluid leaking out of it, so that's probably... Did we report that?
What?
That's a stolen car.
What?
Look, there's no one in there. That's a stolen vehicle. Do we call the police?
Is there anything in it?
Inside? There's no. That's a stolen vehicle though. I don't know, guys. I'm kind of debating calling somebody. You can't.
Oh, they tried to. They took the jack. Let's take this jack with us.
You can't just like leave something like this. Because you see,
Oh, say.
they wrote something on the hood of the car and can't make out what it says. Okay guys, down here, a little ways, is supposedly a place where one of the murders took place back in 2018. A man of the name of Vashon Conyers, who was murdered just down here. At one point, as you guys see, this was a road, but they blocked it off since then, and the place where he was murdered is along here. It's the sewer section, and it was a, it's right here actually. This place is nicknamed, I believe, the Devil's Well. So supposedly what happened during the murder, whoever brought him down here, they parked up there. They brought him all the way here. And then supposedly, right around here, there was a rock completely full of ash because he was set on fire. He was set on fire somewhere around right here. And then, after set on fire, he was dumped inside the sewer well. But it looks like since then, they repaved it, because this is all new. This is the old well, right there. You're not going to see much of evidence left of it. You may find like police tape somewhere. But yeah, that's the old well. If you guys know who this guy is, he's a documentator around the Baltimore area. His name is Dan Bell. He visited this place 3 days after the body was found. And when he was here, he found a lot of evidence of like misuse of like the police just not cleaning after themselves. So you would find gloves of like detectives that would be like right around here and around the well. Right over here, in this area, he found, I believe, an envelope for like evidence, an evidence envelope, but there was nothing in it. But it looks like since then it's either been cleaned up or it's just buried underneath all those leaves. Yeah, because I'm trying to find remnants of like police tape of when they sectioned it off, but I'm not really seeing any police tape. But yeah, that is the well where it happened. So a cop just pulled up at the moment about the car. So we might talk to him a little bit about it. There's not much we can do. I was going to call the police, but just as soon as I got to my car, I put a new battery in my camera. A cruiser just pulled up. So, but yeah, as you see, it is stolen, but it's also like a hit and run, I think, because you got tail lights right there showing the damage of that side of the vehicle. So this car was probably not even just stolen, it was also part of a hit and run, possibly.
They're gonna call somebody to probably come and get it.
Okay. Okay.
So what all y'all be filming?
Well, we're just documenting the area of Leakin Park. I'm pretty sure you've heard of like the stuff that happens around here.
Okay.
With like the murders and stuff.
Let me give you my information. That way, if y'all ever need security coverage, we're the crime suppressor unit for Baltimore City.
Thank you.
Y'all be safe.
Yeah, you too. We are currently at the second location now of another murder site that happened back in 2009. This is a more tragic one, I would say. They're all tragic in their own way, but this is a much more tragic one. This happened to a guy named Mel Wallace. He was blind, but not only was he blind, he was also just disabled as well. So what happened to this guy was back in 2009, his pastor led him to this bathhouse right over here, that bathhouse. And he led him to this section back here, and there were theories on what they were doing, why he was lured out here, but he ended up being murdered, brutally murdered, I believe shot in the head, right back here in the men's restroom, which is one of those doors, I believe. But somewhere behind one of these doors, a very tragic incident happened where a blind disabled man was really murdered. And the reason why he was murdered was because of his life insurance. Apparently he had like $1 million, if not $4 million in life insurance. And that's literally the only reason why he was murdered. And the unfortunate thing as well is that the guy who ended up killing this man was his pastor. And it's very unfortunate as well, because you know, when you think of a pastor, you think of a holy person, a religious person, you know, someone who would not do such a thing, you know, because like if you are religious, one of the biggest sins you can probably commit is to take another human's life. And unfortunately, for some reason or another, most likely greed, because people would do anything for money, unfortunately, this pastor killed this person because they somehow had knowledge of the life insurance money that this person had, and they wanted it for themselves, so they ended up killing this person to try to get their money. Either way, no matter how I tell the story of this man, it's tragic nonetheless. It's very unfortunate, and it's another level of like disgust, because this wasn't just an average person. You know, he wasn't average functioning. He was blind, so he couldn't see, and he also had other disabilities as well, along with him being blind. So to do that to somebody who basically has no ability of defending themselves in a scenario like this, it's a very disgusting thing to do, and it's very unfortunate that this was the way his life had to end. And like I said earlier in the video, it's not just this event that we're documenting that's unfortunate. There's a bunch of every other person that has been discovered in this area that we haven't covered, but you can research it. There's a whole website dedicated to this it just lists every single murder that has happened, that has been discovered. You know, there's, like I said, there's probably hundreds of bodies spread across these woods throughout the hiking trails, off the hiking trails as well, where you just haven't found, those people have not been found. There's probably hundreds of those. Like, if you think of any heinous crime that can be committed, it's probably been done in this park. Somewhere in this park that crime has been committed, because already we have multiple documentations of murder, kidnappings, abductions, disappearances, suicides. Just today alone, when we went to the first spot to document, we ended up coming across what looked like to be a stolen vehicle. If you can think of it, it's probably happened in this area. But that does it for the second location, I believe. We are off to the final location now. It's the final and only back road left available for the public to drive on. Every other road, every other back road, not this main road right here, so you guys see, that's the main road. Every other side road that comes off this main road has been barricaded off because of the amount of dumping that has been happening, and they're trying to prevent it. Not just bodies, they're also trash. They're trying to prevent as much dumping as possible. Basically every road is blocked off, every side road is blocked off. But this road that we're going to is the only side road left open to the public to drive on. But anyways, that's basically it for this section. We'll see you guys when we get to that road. Hey guys, here we are. The final spot. This is Clifton Avenue, as people call it. This is the final spot. Because just down there, over that ridge over there, a murder victim was found. Well, attempted murder victim. They were able to escape their captor, and that's how they got caught, but it was just back down there over that ridge. But where we're going right here is the last, basically private road, back road of Leakin Park, where people just dump stuff. Like, you can find, you can find anything there. Like, there's a bag right there, if you see, that could be anything. But look at all this. You know, you got stuff right there. This is literally just a dumping ground back here. As you guys see, this is, like I was mentioning, this is the final and only back road left of Leakin Park. Because like I said, all the other ones have been barricaded off. If you've driven through Leakin Park, Franklin Town Road, which is that main road that we drove on to get those two spots, every side road is barricaded off because they are preventing people from dumping. But for some reason, don't know why, but this road is the final road left that's not blocked off for the public. And as you saw, we drove down. We're gonna walk up to it, but there's just mounds of trash that people just dump all across this road. It's actually kind of unfortunate. But again, it's not just trash that you would find here. You know, people dump literally anything you can think of. I think only, if you want to get morbid, again, I apologize, but I believe only 1 or 2 bodies have been found in this area. But that was back like in the 80s or 90s. Like, what's the reason to dump all this stuff? Like, this all looks like pretty good stuff. It literally, like how ironic this whole thing is. That sign literally says that, and what we have is this. What's the reason behind this? I have no idea. But we just got bags of clothes, and there's a bunch of children's stuff. Got this picture over here which looks very nice. Again, I don't know why anyone would throw this away. Besides the broken glass, that's a very nice painting. And again, with all this, like, what would motivate someone to just dump all this stuff here, just random stuff? I have no idea. But then you have stuff over here too. Probably from them as well. It's just a bunch of just random stuff. and occasionally you find bags on here. Luckily those ones are most likely clothing bags. That one too looks like, yeah, clothing, but occasionally you find bags dumped on the side of the road right here, which would contain most likely a dead animal, a pet or something. Thankfully we're not going to be seeing anything like that tonight. But yeah, that's literally this whole road. And you see how far the trash goes. There's like trash there, there's trash all the way back there too. This sign right here, if you guys see, there's bullet holes in that sign. All throughout that sign, those are bullet holes, and some of those are relatively fresh. And as you see, there's like barely any rust on any of them. Like those are very fresh bullet holes. So again, it makes you, kind of tells you like how, one, how dangerous, and also two, like what people get up to back here. The fact that there's just a random street sign with bullet holes in it. It looks like you got more trash. Like you see all that stuff reflecting. All those black things reflecting are probably trash bags. Look at all the dumped stuff on this side of the hill, guys. That's all trash. Like over there is like furniture and stuff, and like these are all trash bags. That's the crazy thing. All that's trash. All this right here is trash. Look at that. And like construction equipment too. Got like tires all the way down there. Old white wall tires, but like this is literally all just trash. Got more just junk just left here. Look at that. This is all just random stuff, guys. But this is literally what's happened to this park. It's all just trash. And then, like again, this is the final secluded road. Just down there is that leads you to the main road. If you turn right, it'll take you down to Franklin Street. But yeah, guys, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed this documentary of Leakin Park. I know it's not the best one. If you want to see an actual good documentary of Leakin Park, I recommend checking out Dan Bell's video series on this. He did a very good job on it, probably way better than I could have done on this park. But it's nice to see that I actually got out here. I was able to document something, and we ended up finding something pretty crazy, you know, coming across an abandoned, possibly stolen vehicle on the side of the road. Doesn't surprise me knowing the area that we're in. Was not expecting it nonetheless. But hope you guys enjoyed this expedition. I want to wish you guys a happy Halloween as well. Hope you guys stay safe out there. And without further ado, hope you guys enjoyed this expedition. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.